Okay, so the point that we are doing is what we learn is Omye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Desham Dadagato Hyavata Desham Jayo Nirodeva Vadimashmana Soham, meaning that the miseries, the phenomena consisting of the miseries that we go through, they arise by dependence on the causes. And what the causes are is taught by the Tathagata, and how to bring an end to these causes, or the cessation of these causes, is taught by the great seer, the great enlightened one, Buddha. Okay, so what we learned is that how to bring an end to these miseries is by bringing an end to the causes. A say that just recently when I was in Vietnam, the host, very young girl, age about 20, early 20s, and the first time she was organizing such a visit and teaching, I'm very young. In fact, I could not imagine myself, age 23, and organizing a visit. I can't imagine that. And she's so courageous from that point of view. Of course, supported by many other people, but she's the main. So then, I could see many problems, many technical mistakes made here and there, and so forth. Then in the evening, when we were all together, she, her brother, and my friend, we were together, I was telling her as to how to, how to organize those programs, and that the best way by which to do so is that attend more programs organized by other people and see how they are organizing programs. This was what I told her. And I said that when you organize such programs, no doubt problems are bound to be there. I said this. And she says, yes, that's very true. It's so difficult to organize such programs. I would feel that she's on the verge to feel discouraged. I said, now I have to boost her up. I told her, problems will make you to progress. With the programs, with the problems, then it'll help you progress. So the point is that we face difficulties, and then we see how to get out of this problem. In other words, what I'm sharing with you here is, I'm sharing with you and is for my own benefit also. The point is that, what's the problem? The problem is when we interact with the world, then the problem arises. Do you have this experience? The moment we go out to interact with other people, the moment we go out to interact with the world, then the problems arise, right? And at times you just feel like just leaving everything and going to Himalayas. How many of you, once in a while, such thoughts came to you? Huh? Anyone? I should leave everything and go to Himalaya, right? Okay, so these things can happen, which means that they say, finally what you want is you want the freedom. You want freedom. And you are looking for a very shortcut freedom. Freedom which is totally unrealistic. Right? Now, what we should do is first take a very realistic step where you meet with the environment, right? Say, go to Himalaya. Okay, all the people throwing garbage next to your door, and all these people, you leave them behind and you go to Himalaya. But Himalaya, nobody will cook food for you. Keep this in mind. Still, you need food. Nobody will give you blanket. You need blanket. You're getting it? So there's also a problem. There's a problem there. Okay, what I'm saying, which is so important, is don't expect the world to be perfect for you. Don't expect the world to be perfect. Don't expect the world to, help you. Don't expect that. If this is your expectation, this expectation will never be materialized. Still, you can have the maximum happiness. All your problems can be solved still. How? You acquire a skill. You acquire a skill whereby you are least affected by external factors. Don't forget it. Finally, with this setting up, organizing a program is a headache. Headache meaning organizing this program, I have a problem. Problem means that I want things to happen very nicely, right? And it's not happening. So this is the problem, right? I want this to happen like this, and it's not happening. It's a problem. So the point is that finally you should not be affected. You should not be affected, meaning that you should not feel the pain despite what external factors you encounter with. This is the skill that we have to acquire, we have to learn. Right? Okay. Whereas if you go to Himalaya, still the same problem. Problems are there. Never think that with trying to rectify external factors, they're innumerable in number. Don't forget that the very famous the teaching advice given by Bodhisattva Shantideva. What he said was that, say you walk, you start going out of your house, you walk, and then the thorns prick your 2 feet, right? And then these going out walking, I have to walk, but walking it pricks the thorns, the pebbles, they prick my 2 soles. Okay, cover the whole land with leather. Cover the land with leather so that I can walk so smoothly. Where are we going to get this amount of leather which is enough to cover the entire earth? Where are we going to get this leather? In the first place, it's very impractical. You will hardly get it. And even if you cover the entire earth with leather, the beauty is lost. All the garden you have to cover. Right? Beauty is not there. This is totally unrealistic. And then, how can I do it? I don't want this problem. I don't want the 2 feet to be pricked by the thorns, pebbles, and so forth. How should I do it if not cover the entire earth with leather? Cover the 2 tiny feet with the leather. 2 tiny feet with the leather, small. You don't buy all these things, very small things, and then walk everywhere you like. That suffices covering the entire earth with the leather. Right? So instead of dealing with external factors, instead of trying to tackle external factors, instead of rectifying external factors, see how you can rectify the internal factors. Right? So like the sound of a clap. Like the sound of a clap, which should necessarily come into being by dependence on the 2 hands. Likewise, the sound of a clap, which is analogous to the miseries. These miseries, resembled by the sound of a clap, should necessarily come into being by the combination of the 2 factors, external factors and the internal factors. Right? Okay. If somebody brings up just a hopeless painting, right, to me, I'll dump it into garbage. But this painting, if kept by a museum, it becomes $1 million worth painting. It has nothing there. And then it's given to the museum, right? It's millions dollar worth painting. Right? So the same thing, how you look at it. The point is external things and the internal things. The second hand of the 2. External things that innumerable number. So trying to think of eradicating all the external factors is impossible. In the first place, it's impossible that you can get rid of all these things. Right? And whereas the wisest thing to do is, of the 2 hands, external factors is fine. Try your best to get rid of the external factors, but don't think that you can do it perfectly. You can do it to some extent. But if you don't want suffering at all, get rid of the internal factors. Right? Then external factors, however strong the external factors are, however strong, sound stops. Sound of the misery stops. It's not that external factors. What you don't want is the sound of the misery. That is what you don't want. As long as that stops, it's fine. Right? Okay. So in this connection, see how to get rid of the internal factors. So what would be your next question? Tell me. If this is how I proceed, what could be your next question? What are the internal factors and how do we get rid of this internal factor? First, what are the internal factors? Number two, once you identify what the internal factors are, the next question is how to get rid of the internal factors. Okay, this is so important. So, I'm extremely grateful to TBC, Tibetan Buddhist Center, for I was sharing with the two Geshe-las here that since the last year planning for this visit, the TBC is so keen that the Serachi Center program is included there. This was the TBC, so kind to make sure that this program is included in there. Okay, so and then not only that, the topic selected is the staircase to emptiness, about emptiness, right? Okay, so the point is that the question arises, then what is that internal factor and how to get rid of the internal factor? This is the point. Okay, for that matter, I'm going to be very direct. We don't have much time. I'm going to be very direct. Let's say that let's say that the same okay, tell me, how many of you had, the good dream sometimes? Right? All of us? And how many of you sometimes had terrible nightmare in your dream? Okay, not all. No? How many of you have never, how many of you don't know? How many of you don't know what nightmare is? Anyone? Huh? How many of you don't know what nightmare is? Anyone? Well, no one. Everybody knows, right? Okay. Which means everybody knows. Oh, be very honest. We don't have time. Be very direct. You also be very direct. Tell me, how many of you know what nightmare is? Chen, you don't have. Okay, which means all of you. Okay, let's say this is very important. And some of you have been hearing this so many times. It doesn't matter for those of us hearing this for the first time. This is a very important point. Imagine that you are going through a nightmare in your dream. Nightmare where you are being chased by a ghost. Right? You're being chased by a ghost. Okay. So there, the ghost, and then what happens? Right? And suddenly you meet your father. Your father asks you, what's the problem? A ghost is chasing me. Right? Father said, don't worry, we'll call two Geshe-las. Right? So the father invites the two Geshe-las. The two Geshe-las, they recite, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Then the ghost retreats. Right? And the father says, are you okay now? Yes, thank you so much. And the two Geshe-las will say, are you okay? Yes, thank you so much. Geshe-la leaves, father leaves. Again, the ghost from behind the tree again starts to come back. Right? Okay, don't forget it. This is exactly what is happening in our life. What our life is nothing but this story of the nightmare. Right? Sometimes we have terrible problems and the temporary solution happens, again the problem reappears. This is what our life is. Don't forget it. Right? Now, say, in the same dream, you had the nightmare being chased by the ghost. In the same dream, the two Geshe-las came, and then the ghost retreated. Right? You have a respite, relief, but the relief is not lasting. Right? The moment the two Geshe-las left, again the ghost comes back. You're getting it? Okay. Now tell me, say in the same dream, you had a nightmare, you had an experience of relief, again a nightmare, tell me, when will this nightmare stop? When will this nightmare stop? When you wake up. You getting it? Okay, Geshe comes, that's good. But then again, the ghost will come back again. Right? If you don't want this nightmare, wake up from the dream. Wake up. It is for this reason that the Buddha Shakyamuni is revered as the fully awakened one. You're getting it? So therefore, it's a very simple way of presenting it, yet it bears the whole crux of Gati, Parasangati, Buddhist. It means how to wake up. 20% wake up, 40% wake up, Gati. Paragati, 60% wake up, Parasangati, 80% wake up, Bodhisattva, 100% wake up. Right? This is the meaning. Wake up. Okay, tell me, what's the difference when you dream with the nightmare relief versus you wake up? Okay, in the dream, tell me. I say, with the ghost, nightmare, then the two Geshe come, Om Mani Padme Hum, then the ghost retreats, relief. Tell me, which of the two experiences do you want to go through? Nightmare or the respite? The two Geshe are saying Om Mani Padme Hum and you get a respite. The ghost runs away and the result. Which of the two dreams do you like to have? Respite. No. You want to have the nightmare. No, choose to be, no, the only two choices. Only two choices. I'm not giving the third choice. I'm giving only two choices. From the two choices, which do you want to go for? The first one, the nightmare or the respite? Respite. But even the respite also has a problem. Right? Okay, now I'll make these two things combined together. The nightmare and the respite, 1, versus waking up, 2. Tell me, which do you want? Good. Waking up. Okay, now tell me, from the point of view of the waking up, what's the problem with the respite? What's the problem with the respite in the dream? It was temporary. In what way it is temporary? It has a problem. What's the problem? Say, tell me. Huh? Okay, and the ghost will come back again, that's true. Yes. Okay, say there is one element of mistake, right? Okay, tell me. When you wake up, why all your fears dissolve? Why? When you wake up? Huh? Because you come to realize that what was happening, everything in the dream was just coming from my mind. It's not real. You getting it? It's not real. Not real means it is empty of being real. Emptiness, meaning empty of being real. The moment you realize that whatever happened in the dream is just coming from my mind, nothing really from as real, is empty of real, then the fear drops. Whereas in the dream, when you get the respite, did you realize that the ghost was just a dream? Did you realize that when you were having a respite in the dream? Huh? Why? How did you have the respite? What made you have the respite? Huh? Okay, I'll share the dream. Right? You have the ghost. You're so scared. Then the two Geshe came. Right? Cast the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, and the ghost retreats, and then you're so wow. That is respite. Tell me, why did you have the respite in the dream? Tell me. Why? Okay, there are two things. In the dream, where the ghost retreats, joy. When you wake up, wow, it's dream, joy. There are two joys. You're getting it? What's the difference between these two joys? Huh? Exactly. In the first case, it's not an ultimate joy. It is not ultimate joy. It's just a temporary respite, because you still believe that the ghost exists real. It simply ran away. Right? It simply ran away, but it's there. It is there. Right? This, you still believe in it. But the moment you wake up, whether the ghost run away, is close by, the catching me, whatever, is just my dream. Right? So it leaves no room for any degree of fear in your mind. Whereas in the dream, though you get the respite, but you still have a feeling from a corner of your mind, you still have a feeling that the ghost can come back any time. Believing that the ghost, whatever is happening, is real. You're getting it? What is happening is real. The moment you wake up, you realize whatever happened in the dream is just not real. It's just coming from the mind. From the object is all empty. It's all coming from the mind. Mind is the subject, object. From the object is all empty. It's all coming from this subject. The moment you realize that, you get the ultimate relief, the fear dissolves. So you're getting it? Okay. With this, Gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhiswaha, meaning saying how to traverse along this path. Gate gate. What path? Path of the mind. How to cleanse the mind of the defilements. How to cleanse the mind? By resorting to the wisdom. What wisdom? Wisdom to see that everything is like a dream. You're getting it? Wisdom to see that everything is like a dream. For that matter, everything is like a dream. Everything is like a dream. Everything is like a dream. Okay, what could be the next question? Without question, I will not even budge even an inch. I'll not go any further. What could be the next question? How to wake up? How to wake up, right? How to wake up meaning, just as the dream is coming from the mind, likewise, everything that we're experiencing today, that we have been experiencing in your life, that you will experience in the future, they all come from your mind. Right? So, if you realize that, in the dream, you don't realize this. When you wake up, you realize that whatever happened in the dream, they all came from the mind. Do you follow this? This you must follow. This you must gain conviction. What I'm saying is okay. Let me say this again. In the dream, you are not aware that whatever you are seeing is coming from your mind. You are not aware of that. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with me? What did I say? In the dream, when you are in the dream, you are in the dream, you are not aware that what you are seeing, what you're experiencing is coming from the mind. You're not aware of that. When you are aware that everything's coming from your mind, when you wake up, okay, in the dream, whatever happened, it was just from my mind, not from the real. You getting it? Likewise, okay, this is very important. If we don't follow this, then the next part will become a little technical. Right? First we have to know this. Okay, tell me, why did you have fear in the dream? Why are you out of fear when you wake up? Tell me, anyone, just raise hands, very quickly. Yes.
Because when you're in the dream, you're not aware that everything is coming from the mind.
Very good. Your name, Bhavana? Bhavani. What Sister Bhavani said is that in the dream, you are not aware. You had so much of fear because you are not aware that what is happening in the dream, everything that you experience in the dream, they're all coming from your mind. You are not aware of that. Okay, now then another person, why all your the fears in the fear in the dream dropped when you wake up? Anyone?
Because the dream is not true, not real.
Yes, when you wake up, you realize that everything that happened in the dream was not really true. They're all coming from mind. Very good. Okay. I'm happy now. Now we can go to the next point. Right? Everything's coming from mind. The moment you realize everything is coming from the mind, from the object, it's empty. Okay. One example usually which I give is Okay, let's say this flower, two Geshe-las gave it to me. This flower is mine, right? Okay, tell me, what do you understand by this? When I say, hey, this is my flower, what do you understand by this? Okay, not those people who are from the retreats. Okay, well, those who do not attend this year's retreat. Last year's retreat is fine, you can say, because I want to check right? whether your last retreat went into rust or it's still fresh. Okay, when I say that, this flower, the two Geshe-las and the Lena and Guan Hui, they gave it to me, right? It's mine. What do you understand by this when I say it's mine? Okay, no, those not from the yesterday also. Okay, do you agree with me? It means that it is not yours. When I say this is mine, in a way it is a nice way of saying it is not yours. Now, if I say it's not yours, it's very offensive. When I say, it's mine, you don't mind me saying this. When I say it is mine, it is nice. It is another way of saying it is not yours. Not means empty. The flower is not with you, it's empty with you, it's with me. Likewise, when I say that the dream is coming from the mind. Coming from mind is what? Subject. The flower is object. You're watching a movie here. Movie is the object. Where is the movie coming from? And not I'm not talking about the laptop. I'm talking about the movie theater. The movie, you're watching a movie here. Where's the movie coming from? Moving projector. Where's the movie projector? Behind you. You getting it? Movie is on the screen, but it is from the projector. Okay, now this is so important. Movie is on the screen. It is not from the screen. Don't forget it. The movie is on the screen, but it is not from the screen. It is from where? From the projector, from behind you. You're getting it? This is very important. Where is the movie? It's on the screen. Where is the movie from? It's from the projector. It's not from the screen. So screen is analogous. Screen is analogous to the object, and the projector is analogous to the subject. So object and subject. You're getting it? Even this much, if you can take home, this is so precious. Okay, tell me, where is the movie? Object or subject? Where is the movie? It's on the object. Where is the movie coming from? From the object, from the subject? It's coming from the subject. You're getting it? It's on the object, but it's not from the object. It's from the subject. You're getting it? Okay. Now, the thing is, this flower. Right? Okay. This flower, tell me. I'm not asking you, how does this flower exist? From the object or from subject? This is not my question. My question to you is, just look at this flower. And tell me, how does this flower appear to exist? From the object or from the subject? How does this flower appear to exist? From the object. It appears as though like so objectified, so solidly there. This is the ignorance. This is the ignorance that we are talking about, right? Seeing the flower as objectively real. Okay, now tell me, what is in my left hand? Flower. What flower? What is in my left hand? No, right hand? No flower, right? Okay, imagine a pink flower. Why I'm saying a pink flower? Because when I was very young, age 5, 6, pink was my favorite color. So therefore, oftentimes I think that maybe past life I was a girl. Okay, never mind. Let's see. What is in my right hand? A white flower. What is in my left hand? No, what is... Okay, right and left. Okay, what is in my right hand? White flower. What is in my left hand? No pink flower. People may think that, people who's watching this on the video, they may think that he's a magician. There's nothing there and people around, they could see pink flower. What you can say there's an imaginary pink flower. Don't say pink flower. Otherwise, right? So many people from Malaysia, from the Indonesia, they're all flocking to Singapore. There's a magician there, right? Okay, what is what is on my right hand? White flower. What is my left hand? Imaginary pink flower. Don't say pink flower, right? Okay, imagine pink flower. Okay, I would rather be a philosopher rather than a magician, right? Okay, so what is the white flower, and what is the imaginary pink flower? Tell me what is the difference between these two things. Just speak your mind. Just speak your mind. No need that, oh, he must be expecting a correct answer, philosophy answer. Forget all these things. Just speak your mind. What's the difference between whatever the thought comes to your mind? Let me know. So what's the difference between these two things? The white flower in my right hand and the imaginary pink flower in my left hand. What's the difference? Anyone? Raise your hands very quickly. Yes. Okay, so there is no only one answer. There could be many correct answers. So one is the white flower, it exists as solid object there. The pink flower is not pink flower. Imagine pink flower is not really existent as there as a solid. Okay, this one answer. Very good. Anyone else? Yes. Okay, so the white flower exists objectively and the pink flower is subjectively. Amazing answer. Okay, we don't have to go for the next answers. Very good. Okay, so this one, how we the ordinary people, when we look at this flower and when we look at the imaginary pink flower, we see that this is objectively real after learning the terminology. This exists objectively real, and the imaginary pink flower is not from the object, it's coming from the subject. So therefore it is subjectively real. It is subjective existent, and whereas this flower, the white flower, is the objective existence. You're getting it? This is how we understand it. Objective, subjective. So when you say that this imaginary pink flower is subjectively real, does it not exist objectively? What is your answer? Does it exist objectively? Answer is no. No means no, and empty means same. So from the object side, this imaginary pink flower is empty. So what is emptiness? Emptiness means that the flower does not exist objectively, that the flower is empty of objective existence. If somebody asks you, what is the meaning of empty? What do you understand by emptiness? Just be able to say that things are empty of objective existence. That things are empty of objective existence. This is the meaning of emptiness. You're getting it? That things are empty of objective existence. Likewise, now, this you should be able to correlate, this you should be able to apply to all other phenomena. So we see this as objectively real, we see the imaginary pink flower as subjectively real. In actuality, the Buddha discovered that everything that we surround, this flower seen as objectively real, the imaginary pink flower seen as subjectively real, everything, this imaginary pink flower resembles all other phenomena. Everything exists as subjectively real. Nothing exists objectively real. You're getting it? Everything is empty of objective reality. What's the meaning for emptiness? That things are empty of objective reality is the meaning of emptiness. You're getting it? Emptiness also means nothingness. Emptiness simply means that things don't exist objectively. Things are empty of objective existence. Okay, this is what we should be knowing. Now, for this emptiness, okay, by the way, raise your hands those who were not present yesterday. Okay, so which means that I think I have to explain this, and then those who attended yesterday, you are going to be my helper, right? Be a good helper. Okay, the point, and then those of us from the retreat, you should also help me, right? Okay. On the one hand, we speak about emptiness. Emptiness, oftentimes many people understand it as nothingness. You're getting it? Don't forget it. One. Number two, even if you study emptiness so well, at a certain stage, you come to a conclusion, you come to some kind of conclusion, naive conclusion, that, oh, nothing really exists, right? You're very genuine in your studies, reflections and meditation, and still you come to a conclusion that nothing really exists. Okay, this is what everybody is bound to go through. This is the phase that everybody is bound to go through. So in both cases, we should always be mindful as to emptiness doesn't mean nothingness. Emptiness means dependent origination. Don't forget it. Okay, emptiness means dependent origination. Right? Okay. And dependent origination means the middle way. Don't forget it. Emptiness means dependent origination. Dependent origination means the middle way. This is so precious. Right? So we're going to share with you here in Serji Monastery Center, and then later on, through your more intensive study in TBC or in ABC, right? From the Geshe-las there. So there, somehow, they say, should it be the case that some other people, they talk to you about emptiness to mean nothingness, or you yourself, having been through the training on emptiness, with some emptiness, you get some inkling that, oh, nothing really exists. Then remember, this class, what date? Well, 17th June, second session. Second session in Serach's the Monastery Center of Singapore. Don't forget this, right? Oh yeah, that time, which date, right? Okay, 17 something, June, July, right? 2019 or 18 or 17, something like that, somewhere there, after maybe 5 years, 20 years later. Oh, he said something, yes. He said, emptiness means dependent origination. Dependent origin means the middle way. Don't forget it. Okay, how? One thing good about Buddhism, one thing good about, very, very good thing about Buddhism, for your own good, is that whatever we learn, we make sure that we learn it through conviction, not through blind faith. This is so important part of Buddhism. Whatever we learn with conviction, not with blind faith. This is so important. Okay. But it doesn't mean that here I have all the answers. This is not a connotation. Right? You can ask me questions. See, these questions can be thought-provoking. It can provoke our thought processes, our analytical skills. They are so precious. But you should not suppress your questions. This is important. These questions are so precious. But this, the point that I'm saying here is that how emptiness means dependent origination. I said I made a very bold equation, E equals mc squared, right? And still I have no clue how E equals mc squared. I learned it like 30 years ago. Like this, we can make these equations. We can propose these equations. For example, emptiness means dependent origination, and dependent origin means the middle way. How? This question. I never asked this question, how to E equals mc squared. But we have to ask this question, how emptiness equals dependent origination, how dependent origin equals middle way. Good. Okay, first, emptiness equals dependent origination. 5 points. How we can equate emptiness with dependent origination? For that we need to know 5 points. This is so important, don't forget it. The first point is emptiness. Emptiness, first point, emptiness. Emptiness doesn't mean nothingness, right? Okay, how many of you know who? How many of you know who? Okay, not from the retreat. How many of you don't know who? Strange. Singaporeans. Huh? You don't know WHO? Wow, you know that, right? Okay, WHO. WHO is not who? WHO is World Health Organization. It's a short form, right? WHO is a short form of World Health Organization. It doesn't mean who. You're getting it? Likewise, emptiness. It doesn't mean nothingness. It is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. Right? So number one, emptiness. Number two, emptiness doesn't mean nothingness. It is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. Number two. You getting it? Number two. Emptiness of independent existence means nothing exists independently. Do you agree with me? Okay, all these points you have to agree. If you don't agree, we will stop there. Right? First one is emptiness. Emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. Number two. Emptiness of independent existence means nothing exists independently. Do you agree with me? When I say agree with me, I don't mean to say that do you really understand that everything, nothing is independent. This is not my question. My question is the second one and the third one. Do they mean the same? The second one says what? Emptiness of independent existence. So number three is emptiness of independent existence means nothing exists independently. Okay.
Some religions would say God exists independently.
Okay. So the point is, let us, for the time being, let us not mix things up. For the time being, just let us go through this flow. You try to get emptiness. Once you get a hold of emptiness, then you are at a very stable place. Once you are at a stable place, then bring the other points. They are saying this. So therefore, I started by saying that one of the greatest strengths of Buddhism is not to base your faith in blind faith. You getting it? Okay. So then, later on, once you get a sound ground of what emptiness is, then it is very important to bring what other people say. Right? And whatever you learn, don't keep it as a borrowed knowledge. There are two knowledge. Your personal knowledge and your borrowed knowledge. Don't keep things as borrowed knowledge. When you say, but some people say like this is a borrowed knowledge, this is not your knowledge. Make it your knowledge. Right? Unless it is your knowledge, you will never gain conviction of what you are saying. The knowledge that you acquire must be eventually transformed as your own knowledge. This is so important. You getting it? Okay. So, what do you mean by borrowed knowledge? What do you mean by your own knowledge? This is so important. Okay, this distinction I'll make here. Okay, listen. Borrowed knowledge. E equals mc square. If somebody asks me, what is the famous equation of Albert Einstein? I will say E equals mc square. Is this correct or not correct? It's correct. It's a knowledge. It's a valid knowledge. But for me, this is a borrowed knowledge. This is not my knowledge. Why it is not how it is not my knowledge? Because if somebody asks me, how do you derive this equation? I have no clue. Right? Derivation, I don't know. Right? It's just borrowed knowledge. I just imitated what Albert Einstein said. I personally have no clue how it is derived. Okay, now, if somebody tells me, what is 3 into 4? Today my answer is 12. Right? Say when I was 6 years old, somebody asked me, what is 3 into 4? What I will do is, when I was 6, 4, 5 or 6 years old, my teacher asked me, what is 3 into 4? Then my two hands become busy. Will go out behind. What is Dorji? What is 3 into 3? 3, 1. 3, 1 is very easy. 3. What is 3 into 2? No clue. So my hands will go behind. Because if I don't give that correct answer, she will pinch me. I'm afraid of being pinched, right? So the two hands will go behind. Okay, so this is my hand behind me, right? Okay, Dorji, what is 3 into 1? 3. 3 into 2? 4, 5, 6. Right? 6. Correct. What is in 3 into 3? 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Correct. Look, if the same teacher asks me, how do you know that 3 into 3 equals 9? How do you know this? I have no clue. I just imitated my teacher. Right? Okay, just keep adding 3 more. Keep adding 3 more. That is the answer to the next point. This is what I learned. This is a borrowed knowledge. Today, if somebody asks me, what is 3 into 3? I will say 9. How 9? Oh, I remember 40 years ago, my teacher taught like this, I will never say this. I will say 3 into 4, 3 into 3, how it is 9? Yes, I know this. How? Okay, bring 3. Variable 1, 2, 3. And I will take out from a bag sweets, right? I take out sweets. Okay, 3 sweets, 3 sweets, 3 sweets. I need 9 sweets. For 3 people, 3 each, I need 9 sweets. 3 people into 3 sweets is 9 sweets. This is what I know now, right? So therefore, this knowledge now is not borrowed. It's my knowledge. Then it was a borrowed knowledge. The moment you say it is because, oh, this is like, because some people say like this. Some people say like this is a borrowed knowledge. It's not your knowledge. So Buddhism encourages you to have your own knowledge. This is so important. But your own knowledge, sometimes when the knowledge is very intricate, very sophisticated, very subtle, then we have to first have the borrowed knowledge, right? Borrowed knowledge. And then this knowledge, you subject this knowledge to analysis. Subject this knowledge to the analysis and see if you gain conviction in this. The moment you get conviction, then that becomes your knowledge. You getting it? Okay, good. Where did we? Okay, from the 5 points. Okay, emptiness. Number 2 is the emptiness of independent existence. Number 3 is nothing exists independently. Number 4, nothing exists independently means everything exists by. Hey, when we say nothing exists independently, it means everything exists by dependence. Wonderful. This is number 4. Everything exists dependently means everything is dependently existent, dependently originated. So emptiness doesn't mean nothingness, it means a dependent originated. You getting it? So out of these 5 points, we come to conclude that emptiness doesn't mean nothingness, it is the meaning of dependent origination. Part 1. Part 2. Dependent origination means the middle way. Again, how? This question. This is so important. This is so important. Dependent origination means the middle way. How? Dependent origination has 2 sides. Dependence and origination. You getting it? It is 2 sides. Dependence and origination. Dependence. What is it? Dependence. What is the opposite of dependence? Independence. When you say things are dependent, you are rejecting independence. Independence and absolutism, these two mean the same. Independence and absolutism mean the same. When you say dependent, you are rejecting the extreme of absolutism. When you say dependent, you are rejecting the extreme of absolutism. You are rejecting the extreme of independence. You are rejecting the extreme of absolutism. 1. Now number 2, what is number 2? Origination. When we say origination means something comes into origination. Something comes into existence. What is the opposite of existence? Hey, what is the opposite of existence? Non-existence. Non-existence. Non-existence and nihilism mean the same. Do you agree with me? Non-existence and nihilism mean the same. So when you say origination, it rejects non-existence, it rejects nihilism. You're getting it? So origination, it rejects the extreme of nihilism. And by dependence, the first one, dependence, it rejects what? Extreme of absolutism. So dependence, it rejects the extreme of absolutism. Origination, it rejects the extreme of nihilism. Bringing these 2 things together, dependence and origin, bringing these 2 things together, reject the 2 extremes. Rejecting the 2 extremes is following the middle way. You're getting it? So therefore, dependent origination is the meaning of the middle way. So through these lines of reasoning, we come to know that emptiness doesn't mean nothingness. Emptiness is the meaning of the middle way. This is so precious, so precious. If you're able to recall this understanding on a daily basis, right, it will leave an incredibly profound seed of emptiness in your mind, so that in the next life it becomes very easy for you. Next life somebody says emptiness, dependent origin, oh, automatically it rejects the 2 extremes. You as a very young boy or a young girl will say this. You don't have to attend all these teachings in detail. Right? Okay, this is very precious. Now, okay. Now with this and this basic framework, the Buddha at one point, the Buddha was strolling with some of the followers, and then Buddha stopped by a rice field. And seeing the rice shoots growing there, Buddha pointed to the rice shoot, and said that the monks, look at this. Because this exists, okay, first the Buddha said, whosoever sees dependent origination will see the dharma. And whosoever sees the dharma will see the Buddha. Part one. Let me say this again. Buddha pointing to the rice seedling, the Buddha said, whosoever sees dependent origination will see the dharma, and whosoever sees the dharma will see the Buddha. Right? Part one. Part two. Because this exists, that exists. Because this is produced, that is produced. Because this exists, that exists. Because this is produced, that is produced. Part two. Part three. Because of ignorance, volition karma is created. Because of volition karma, the consciousness is created. Because the consciousness, the name and form is created. Because the name and form, the context is created. The sources is created. Because of the sources, the context is created. Because of the context, the feeling is created. Because of the feeling, the craving is created. Because of which the grasping is created. Because of which the becoming is created. Because of which the birth is created. Because of which aging and death is created. Fourth, because the ignorance stops, the volition karma stops. Because the volition karma stops, the consciousness stops. So like this, it goes down till the 11. The birth stops. Because the birth stops, aging and death stops. This is the cessation, freedom from the lamentation, the grief, and the anxiety, and so forth. This is what the Buddha. So this whole set, how the Buddha started by saying that whosoever sees dependent origination will see the dharma. Whosoever sees the dharma will see the Buddha. One, because this exists, that exists. Because this is produced, that is produced. Right? Okay. So number two. Number three, because of ignorance, all these 12 links. Number three. Number four, because the ignorance stops, the contempt karma stops. Because of which the consciousness stops, and eventually the birth stops, and this aging and death stops, and the lamentation, grief, anguish always stop. Four. So these form in totality is referred to as the rice seedling sutra, Salistamba Sutra, or rice seedling sutra. This is so precious sutra. Okay, now when the Buddha said, whosoever sees dependent origination will see the Dhamma. Whoever sees the Dharma will see the Buddha. So dependent origin here. So there's dependent origination. There are three connotations. Three connotations of dependent origination. Right? Okay. Three connotations. Varying in degrees of subtlety. Varying in subtlety. The first one is dependent origination of the results, dependence on causes. The results, dependence on causes. Number one. Number two, dependent origination of the wholes, dependence on the parts. The whole, say the whole, dependence on the parts. Number two. Number three, dependent origination of dependence on mere mental designation. Dependent origination of dependence on the mere mental designation, mere mental imputation. Okay, so these are the three levels of dependent origination. The first one is applicable to all phenomena. No, sorry. The first one is applicable to only one part of phenomena. The first one, applicable to only the impermanent phenomena. dependent origination of the results and dependence on causes is applicable only to the impermanent phenomena. Whereas the first, second, and third, all three are okay, the second and the third, second and third, my computer is hanging now. Okay, so the second and the third is applicable to all phenomena. You're getting it? First one is applicable only to the impermanent phenomena, and the second and third is applicable to all phenomena. This is what we need to know. The first one, the first one, dependent origination of the results depends on the causes. So within this framework, this level of dependent origin is the one which governs the entire universe. The first level of dependent origination is applicable only to the impermanent phenomena, but it governs the operation of the operation meaning function. Operation means function. Function means impermanence. You're getting it? Okay. So the first level of dependent origination governs the entire matrix of the universe. Entire matrix, entire operation of the universe is governed by the first level of dependent origination. Right? Okay. Within this, there are two classes. Within this, there are two classes. One which is the law of karma, and the other is the natural law of causation. Two. This fabric of the results dependence on the causes can be classified into two groups. One which is the law of karma, and the other one is the natural law of cause and effect. Natural law of cause and effect. Right? Natural law of cause and effect. Okay, this is very important. How do you distinguish these two things? What do you mean by natural law of the cause and effect, and what do you mean by law of karma? How do you distinguish the two things? For example, let's say, I say this is sweet. This is sweet, right? Say, while I'm picking up this, showing this sweet to you, then if I start falling asleep, it falls, right? When my fingers, they become loose because I was falling asleep, right? Then the way the sweet, because of the gravity, it will pull down, and my fingers are not holding it anymore. It pulls down, and then it falls, and it makes a sound. Tak, this sound, right? It has nothing to do with law of karma. Don't forget it. This is a natural law of cause and effect. One, the gravity pulls it. And this sweet does not have an intention. Okay, the moment I fall there, I will make a cry. Tick. This sweet does not have this intention. It makes a sound tick, right? Whereas a child is dropped, falls, will cry, right? So this is not because of the sound tick. It's because of the intention. I should cry so that I'll get attention from other people. I cry so that my pain will go down. Right? So all these things are there. So that is intentional. So one act without the involvement of intention, that is the natural cause-effect relationship. Another cause and effect relationship where the intention is involved, that is karma. Karmic cause-effect relationship. You're getting it? Okay. Say I become very angry. I said, how dare this class is so long, till 8 o'clock, 8:30, right? How come, right? So I bang like this. So this gesture is coming because of the intention. You're right? Okay. Right? Okay, the class is till 9. Right? The class is till 9. There's no wisdom. Oh no, they are taking so much interest in this. No, it should be a little longer, right? Okay, so it should be a little longer. Again, I bang it like this. So this is good karma, positive karma. Positive karma, negative karma. This is positive karma. How dare this so long? This is negative karma. I bang it. No? But the thought, intention decides. Intention is negative, action becomes negative. Intention is positive, and the action becomes positive. So where the cause and effect relationship is operating with the intention involved, that fabric becomes the karmic cause effect. Where the intention is missing, for example, the sweet falls and it makes a sound. So the falling is the falling. is the cause, and making the sound is the result. That cause and effect relationship doesn't involve the intention. That is known as the either non-karmic cause-effect relationship or a natural cause-effect relationship. Cause-effect relationship, there are two kinds, right? Good. Okay. With this, the same dependent origination, it has three levels. The first one is the dependent origin, the results depends on the cause. The first one is done. The second one is the dependent origination of the whole's dependence on the parts, right? This is again very important. Say, when you see that the things as a whole, and the things as a whole makes sense. How good that is, how bad that is determined by the parts. Okay. Shall I share one anecdote with you? Huh? Okay, you'll be very happy. Okay, while I teach this, dependent origin wholes, dependence on parts, this is that one time I was actually deceived myself. What happened? They say my one mobile, it started to just break down. Then I had to go for the second mobile. Then the second mobile, I asked my friend to somehow get it. So he got one. Which was made in China. I'm not into politics, sorry. But it is made in China, that's true. Made in China. And then I first got it, right? Wow, it's so good. Very cheap. And it's so good. What determines whether mobile is good or not? Huh? And look at it, so sleek. It's so nice. Right? Just so perfect. Amazing. It's so sleek. I'm yet to operate it. I said, wow, it's so good. It's better than iPhone. Right? iPhone is so round like this. Wow, it's so sleek. It's amazing. Very cheap. Right? I forgot that the whole, as the mobile as a whole, comes into its goodness, good or bad. It's not determined by just one part. It depends on all the parts, right? What is the main part of the mobile? Is it the outlook, the outside appearance, or the software? Which is important? Software and the whatever inside. Is there anyone from is there anyone from Marcus? Are you from that area? No. Anyone from this area? From chips. From the chip, right? Okay, so quality of the chip. I didn't see the chips inside and see just by the outside. I said, it's beautiful, it's better than iPhone. Okay, which means that I failed to understand the second level of the dependent origination. The goodness or badness is determined of the whole, is determined by the parts. And what is inside, you have not seen it. And still you decided on the basis of what is seen outside. Right? This is where I went wrong. So therefore, if you know that whole depends on the parts, we have to check all the parts. Then if all the parts are intact, you are happy, you can say the whole is very good. Okay, what is number 3? Dependent origination of dependence on mere mental designation. Okay, now, if you understand the third level of dependent origination, and that is the actual awakening. Okay, now, how many of you want to be awakened? Okay, if you want to be awakened, let's do a quick essay meditation. Sit properly. Okay, sit properly. Right? Okay, is in the form of what do you call it? Say the guided meditation. Is in the form of guided meditation, right? Don't close your eyes. And if you want to close your eyes, this is exception. Right? Otherwise, usually not allowed. It is from me, not allowed. But today's exception because this is analytical meditation. For the analytical meditation, closing eyes, the the side effect would be less. Right? Okay. Now, what you do, just follow the instructions. Just follow the instructions. Just follow the instructions, and whatever I asked you to, wherever necessary, feelings have to be invoked. Try your best. And if you think that I'm not really performing in the way as intended, don't worry too. Just try your best. Okay. Okay, just stop yourself from ruminating over the past experiences. Stop yourself from anticipating for the future. Disengage yourself from any thought processes, particularly with the five sensual objects. Disengage yourself from the five sensual objects and the five sensual consciousnesses. Be in the present moment. Okay, take 3 deep breaths. Okay, with this spirit, just follow the instructions. What are you doing? I'm meditating. And what is your body doing? My body is in meditative posture. And how does this person appear to you? This person, meaning yourself, appear to you like a dream, or like a movie projected by the projector, not really from itself, but coming from the mind projector, or it is so objectified, so solidified there. Of course, she is so solidified, objectified there. Nothing to do with my mind. It's so objective there. Okay. This is known as self-grasping ignorance. This is ignorance which is responsible for creating all the miseries. How do I know that this is ignorance? How do you know that this is not valid? Because this is so real, this is so true, that this I is so objective, so solidified there. Okay. If the I, this self, exists so solidified, objectively there, then the closer you go to this object, you should be able to find it. The way Aranagarjuna said, the 2nd century revered as the second Buddha, Aranagarjuna. Listen to what he has to say in his text, Precious Garland. He said, if the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? Likewise, if this person, I, would exist objectively, why not I see this I as I go closer to this object? Okay, now let us go closer to this object. Going closer to this object, we see that a very thin layer of the skin. First we meet with a very thin layer of the skin. Whatever is not the person, just ignore or keep them aside. You're only interested to look for the person, this person who is seen so objectively there. Okay, first you see the very thin layer of the skin. Of course, this is not me. Keep that aside. And behind that is the fatty tissues. Of course, not me. Remove that. Behind that is the muscles, the cartilages, the bones, the heart, the lungs, the spleen, the kidney, and the gallbladder, the liver. None of these solid parts is me, 100%. All these solid parts constitute what is known as the element of earth. Element of earth is not me. Remove that. Keep that aside. What is left now? Element of water, the blood. The blood which is pumped in and out by the heart in the different parts of the body. Of course, that is not me. Keep that aside. Now the element of fire. The body heat. The body heat rises, the body heat decreases. But I never increase or decrease. Thus, this body heat is also not me. Remove the element of fire. What is left now? Element of air. The air which I breathe in and out through my lungs. Of course, that is not me. Remove that. What is left now? The space. I'm a solid person. The space is vacuum in nature. The space also not be remove that. What is left now? Only my mind is left. Element of consciousness or the mind is left. This mind, of course, it is not me. Because I'm a female. I'm a male. This mind does not have a gender. Gender is posited on the basis of the body. And whereas the mind does not, the mind is not a body, therefore this mind does not have a gender, so therefore the mind is not me. And furthermore, people cannot see my mind, but people can see me. So therefore, no doubt, this mind is also not me. Remove that. What's left now? Nothing is left there. Stay in this experience for a while. Stay in this experience for a while. In some cases, some of you might have a tinge of a fear, a tinge of peace of mind, a tinge of tranquility. Should these things happen, particularly a fear, don't panic. This is a very auspicious indication. You are very lucky, you are very fortunate that you are meeting with the dharma, with the dependent origination, which will take you to the state of fearlessness. It's so precious. And those of us who do not feel any of such experiences, don't worry. Just continue doing this practice and continue with the extensive learning. Eventually you will surely experience that, and very profoundly you'll be taken to a state of fearlessness. Okay. Now slowly come out of this meditation. Come out of the meditation. Okay, good. Now with this, okay, listen more. Just a follow-up from this meditation. The follow-up is that in this meditation you see that the self dissolves. The self disappears. Right? It disappears. None of the six elements is this person. The person disappears. Then imagine that you slowly come out of meditation. Again you see the person, you see I, you see the self, yourself like this. Again you subject to meditation, you see the person disappears once more. So it doesn't mean that the person does not exist. It simply means that the person does not exist independently. The person does not exist objectively. Right? The person does exist. How? In your thought, in your mind. With respect to your mind, the person exists. But from the object, the person is empty. This is what we're discovering now. Right? When you are deep in a meditation, the person dissolves. Right? And then the person dissolves. And then you think of Singapore also dissolves. When you're meditating in the emptiness of the Singapore, what about the traffic, Singapore traffic? Does it stop or not? It will not stop. Even in your meditation, the Singapore dissolves, but Singapore traffic will remain as busy as it is. You're getting it? It will not stop. Which means that with this meditation, it will not eradicate things. It will not dissolve things. In your meditation, things dissolve. Things don't dissolve. For this matter, what we need to know is we need to know two things. Two questions. First question. Do things exist? What's the answer? Hey, do things exist? Don't pretend as though like you are deeply into emptiness meditation. Right, okay, come out. Okay, do things exist? Yes. Okay, if you say no, you fall into nihilism. You getting it? The moment you say things don't exist according to Buddhism, you fall into nihilism. This is not Buddhism. Only if your answer is affirmative to the first question, do things exist? If the answer is affirmative, yes, then you'll go to this second question. How do things exist? Do they exist objectively? What's the answer? No. You're getting it? Things exist, but they don't exist objectively. Okay, if you say no to the second question, then you are closer towards emptiness concept. if you say no to the first question, you will fall into nihilism, far, far, far away from emptiness. You're getting it? Okay, so therefore, the point is that two things to keep in mind. One, do things exist? Answer is yes. Then you go to this, the moment you say yes, you will not fall into nihilism. Then the second question arises. If things exist, do they exist objectively? Answer is no. That is the emptiness. From the object is all empty. Then things exist but not from the object. How do they exist? Subjectively. You're getting it? Subjectively. So therefore, everything, the Singapore traffic happening, and then the meeting of the Trump and the Kim, right? Meeting of Kim and Trump in a beautiful country in Singapore, that also happened. Right? Okay. All these things are happening. It's not that you with your meditation everything will stop. No. Things happen, will continue to happen, is happening. Right? Your meditation will not stop these things. Right? So your meditation, then what emptiness do you see? Right? Your mistaken mind, your perception changes. Your perception changes. How? Thus far, we have the perception that everything is, the whole world is operating on the objective level. This is our misperception. Now, in your thought, you come to realize that things are operating not on the objective level, they are operating on the subjective level. In a thought process, right, there is a change in the perception happening, not change in the world. The world remains the same. You're getting it? With this, what is the benefit? Okay, the benefit. Say, old version of seeing the world is what? Seeing the world as objectively real. New version of seeing the world is operating subjectively. Two. With these two things, what's the benefit? The benefit is that when you see things as operating objectively, it creates fear in you. Seeing the dream is real, the dream ghost is real, fear arises. Seeing the world is operating objectively, the fear, unending fear arises. The moment you see the world is not at all operating objectively, nothing is really operating objectively, everything is operating subjectively. From the object is all empty, all your fears dissolve. You're getting it? All your fears dissolve. Okay, with this one, then you switch to what we learned about emptiness and dependent origination. When you see emptiness, right, all your fears dissolve. When you see dependent origination, your compassion grows. You're getting it? Seeing emptiness, your fears dissolve. Seeing dependent origination, your compassion grows. By how? By dependence on others, my happiness grows. So therefore, they are so kind to me. By dependence on others, my happiness grows. Okay. In Singapore, right? In Singapore, without the AC, surviving in Singapore is a little difficult, right? Yes, humidity. Excess humidity, yes? Yes. Okay. And this AC, let's say, this AC, tell me, what is the price of the AC? Anyone? Born AC? Any guess? Huh? 1,000 Sing dollars. Let's say 1,000 Sing dollars. Imagine, go back in time, 2,000 years ago. Singapore existed, right? 2,000 years ago. Not as Singaporean, not as Singapore, but as a place. It existed, right? Before seeing the Malay Sing. Malaysia. No, Malay line. Malayan, right? Before the king seeing the Malayan, right? Before that, the land existed. There must be those poor people without the AC. Right? With humidity must be the same. I don't know how they survived. Right? Okay, imagine. By the way, tell me who was that king who saw this Malayan? Huh? Sanlila Utama. Sanlila Utama. When did you see this? Huh? How many years ago? Huh? Huh? 14? Okay, 1416. At that time, no AC. Right? Okay, let's see. Let's go back to 1416. See, you were born 1416. Okay, not born. You were born in 2018. Right? We will go back to see the scenario there, 1416. When King Uttama first saw the Malayan, right? And he was a king. Yes, he was a king. Prince. He had the whole wealth of the nation, the kingdom was with him. Right? Right? But he did not have the AC. 100% guaranteed no AC. At the most, he had the human AC. At the most. Yeah, that's true. Why are you laughing? That's very true. Somebody's finding him. Right? No AC there. If he could imagine that there's going to be AC in 2018, he would be jealous of us. Guaranteed he would be jealous of us. Right? He has whole wealth there, but he do not have this AC. Now think of, okay, this is very important, right? If you are to make this AC just for yourself, if you make this AC just for yourself, right? By yourself, tell me how much do you think it will cost you? It will cost billions of dollars, not just 1,000 Sing dollars. It will cost billions of dollars. One, the plastic, the metal, right? The plastic metal, they have to be, the plastic, I don't know how that is extracted from the petroleum. The metal from the metal ore, from metal mine, right? Mining. And those all have to be carried to the factory. You need the whole factory, right? Okay, so then we have to feed all these people. So like this, it will cost billions of dollars. How come that we are getting it so cheap now? It's 1,000 Sing dollars, right? How come that we are getting so cheap? Because of more supply, mass production, right? If there's only one person who is buying this, it will cost him billions of dollars. Because there are thousands of millions of people buying the same thing, it becomes very cheap. You getting it? Okay. By dependence on these millions of people who you don't know, that you have benefited, just pay 1,000 Sing dollars and you're getting it. Whereas 1416, what is the king? Uttama, King Uttama. Even King Uttama did not have this AC. Right? He has the whole wealth. He has perhaps billions of dollars worth jewelry, all these things are there with him, but he cannot enjoy this. Why we are able to enjoy this is because of the involvement of the millions of hands, right, who buy the same product that becomes so cheap. We should be feeling so grateful by dependence on these people that we get the privilege of using this AC, right? Okay, thinking like this, by dependent origination, by seeing dependent origination, you will see the benefit that you have been receiving from other people. The moment you feel the benefit, what happens? You feel grateful. And some people may say, why should I feel grateful for all these people? I paid it. Right? You feel like this. Tell me, how many of you loved your mother so much when you were 10 years old? Raise your hands. Those who did not raise your hands, when you were 10 years old, not now. Now maybe a little complication. Now maybe a little complication, I don't know. But when you were 5 years old, raise your hand. Those who really felt that I love my mother so much. Okay, good. Okay, now tell me, those who loved your mother so much, day one you were born. Day one you were born. I love my mother so much. Raise your hands. Oh, lineage. You know your mother already from day one. A very special girl. Right? Day one, you have no clue who this woman is. This lady, the nurse, the doctor, there's no difference to you when you were day one old. You're getting it? You have no clue. But then, where you have no clue of this person, where you don't love this person at all, day one. After 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, the love becomes so intense. The moment you see the prospect of the mother leaving you for 1 hour, right? You cannot contain your, say, the agitation, irritation, sadness. You just burst into scream, cry, right? So how come that you have developed such intense love towards the mother after this number of years, 4 or 5 years. Tell me why. How come that you develop such a love and affection towards that same person? Day one, you did not have this affection. Now, they say that after 4 years, 5 years, you have built such an intense love and affection. How come that this came into being? Tell me, what made this to come into being to you?
Close
Huh?
relationship. Close relationship.
Close relationship, how?
Yes, for you.
Yes, that this is the one. I need so many things, and this is the one who gives me all what I need. You're getting it? In other words, this is the one who provides me with all the benefits that I'm looking for. You're getting it? So this is the human psyche. The moment you feel that you are receiving benefit from this person, your mind will go closer towards that. You're getting it? Okay. The moment you feel that you are receiving benefit from this, your mind go closer towards the person. The moment you feel that this is a person from whom I receive maximum benefit, your mind goes closer towards that maximum. This process of the mind going closer towards the other person is known as the love and affection. Right? So love and affection, in other words, it is built on the basic premise that I get benefit from this person. This is known as love and affection. You're getting it? So in the same vein, when you see that I'm getting this AC just for 1,000 Sing dollars because of the mass production, because of the innumerable people buying the same product, I'm getting this so cheap now, right? Pen. Oh, this pen is very expensive. Huh? Are you sure? How cheap?
I don't know.
Okay, let's say 5 Sing dollars. 5 Sing dollars, let's say 5 Sing dollars, right? Imagine 2,000 years ago, like even the kings and queens, they have to use the feather. Can you imagine that? And the feather, you have to constantly soak it in the ink pot. This doesn't require that, right? You can use it for like 1 month. Or say if you're writing a whole day, then you can use it for at least like 2, 4, 5 days very easily. And then you can throw the refill and again buy with the 10 cents refill, put it there. Amazing. Again, the same thing. Even the kings and queens in those days, if they can imagine that such things will exist in the future, they will be envious of you. Right? So again, why? How come that this is you're getting it so cheap? Maximum like say 20 Sing dollars. Maximum is 20 Sing dollars. How come that you're getting this so cheap? Again, because of mass production. Do you know these people? You don't know these people. So it is by dependent origination, by dependence of this mass production, that the happiness that you're getting is originated. That dependent origination. When you see this, wow, if I'm born 2,000 years ago, even if I'm a king, I will not have the privilege of using this. Today, I have this privilege. It's all because of this mass production. This is because of them that I receive the benefit. When you feel the benefit, your mind automatically feels close towards all these innumerable beings. You're getting it? So there, then what happens? So this flow of your mind towards others is known as love and affection. Love and affection towards the neutral beings. Then likewise, okay, we don't have time, love and affection towards the difficult people. Then you see that your mind is freed from the prison of your mind. That your mind flows so freely towards everyone. This is because of what? Because of understanding dependent origination. In other words, emptiness, dependent origination. By seeing emptiness, all your fears dissolve. By seeing dependent origination, your compassion flows infinitely towards others. That brings the maximum happiness. You getting it? This is the benefit of seeing emptiness and dependent origination. Okay, we'll stop here. Thank you so much. Okay, because it's a little late, we may not have time for a question and answer. So what we'll do is that we will end with the dedication. Right? Okay, by the way, on those of you here who really wants to know about how to wake up, what is dependent origination, what emptiness, we are doing a whole series of the course, the series of the class in TBC from tomorrow. What time? 7:30 p.m. Right? Okay, so this is what is happening there for like 9 sessions. We can cover it pretty well because 9 sessions, and there are two, not in just one go. With the breaks. Breaks meaning that the mornings, afternoons, we don't have class.
Weekday only 9 class. Weekend there's 3 classes. So altogether 13 classes.
Okay. So this is pretty a good amount of class for us to go a little deeper in how to wake up from the sleep of ignorance. Very good. Okay, so I'm extremely grateful to the two venerables here. Geshe-la, thank you so much. And the center is coming up. The center associated with such a very important monastic university, Serache Monastery, which is consisted of like say 4,000, 5,000 monks, right? And amongst them, how many think about emptiness, how many think about bodhicitta. So we are so fortunate, even myself, although I'm already associated with Devotional Monastery and other things, now that I feel connected with Serache Monastery, the center, even now I'm feeling it's such a great opportunity. It's such a great blessing for us to be associated with such an important monastic university, which is like the place where the teachings of the Buddha, they are freshly being preserved there and then disseminated from there. So with this, we should be feeling very fortunate. And this would not possibly happen if such a dedicated staff, dedicated volunteers, dedicated people like the Lina, and then the Kong Hui, the president, and the volunteers. There are a few volunteers there, right? So without them, we cannot possibly think of having such a center. We can, where we can meet and so forth. So, on behalf of Serache Monastery and the Geshe-las, let us pray. Let us all pray that all the volunteers, the staff there, who make it possible, that they have a long life, that they have a good, healthy, virtuous life. Let us pray for that, and let us all pray that His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the true source of joy and happiness on this earth, that he lives long and that his wishes be fulfilled spontaneously. And let us also pray that